Hi, I'm Larry Reed. I'm the creator of the Soul of Finance website, and I appreciate you clicking on this video, and I appreciate your support of souloffinance.com. Last year, I was the lead author on the Global State of Ultra Poverty, a report that for the first time defines what ultra poverty is, and then looks at how many people live in ultra poverty around the world and what countries do they live in. The headline numbers from that report are there are almost 400 million people in the world living in the conditions of ultra poverty, and that 80% of those people live in 14 countries of South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Now, by now, you're probably wondering, what is ultra poverty and how does it differentiate from other forms of poverty? Well, in our report, we gave a technical definition for ultra poverty based on the Oxford Multidimensional Poverty Index. So if you want to check that out, look at our methods for the report and also see some of the numbers we generated, you can find that at ultra-poverty.org. And there you can read the full report that we developed. Over the last 2 years, I have been traveling to different countries, interviewing people who either are living in ultra poverty or who had once lived in those conditions and have now moved out of ultra poverty. And I've even entered a few who started moving out of ultra poverty and then ended up moving back in. Through these interviews, I've gained sort of a up-close and personal view of what ultra poverty looks like. I've been able to see it from the human context, from the people who actually live it. And I realized that statistics doesn't really communicate what it feels like to live in ultra poverty. So in this video, I'm going to try and help you see what ultra poverty is really like. And I'll do that by helping you imagine what it would be like if you lived in ultra poverty. So to do this, I'll need you to be in a quiet space where you can get into a reflective and an imaginative mode. You can close your eyes if that helps, or look off into space. But I want you to see yourself surrounded by all the things that you have. Things both tangible and intangible, but everything you own and everything that you value, see all of those together with you. And what we're going to do is start taking some of those things away until we get to ultra poverty. So first off, I need you to take away your house or your apartment or whatever it is that you live in. Take that away, take that out of the picture. And instead, you might have a few scrap pieces of wood, some bamboo poles, maybe some straw, some cut bamboo to weave together, maybe some leaves, to make yourself a structure to live in, a structure that will keep the sun out during the day, but probably won't do a good job of keeping the rain out when it rains. You also need to take away whatever land your house is or your apartment is on. Instead, you'll just have the amount of space that your lean-to structure sits on, and that will be where you live. Also, you need to take away your job or whatever source of income you have. Any regular source of income that you have, that goes away. And you'll need to empty your closets and your drawers. The clothes you have all go away, except for one set of very worn clothes that you wear each day. The next thing you have to take away is your education. Everything you learned in school will be gone. In addition, everything you learned from reading books will be gone, because in ultra poverty, you probably don't read. Also, everything you learned from the internet or TV will be gone. And everything you learned from talking to other people who read books will be gone. So take all of those away. Also, the forms of transportation you use. If you have a car, or if you take public transportation, or if you ride a bike, all of those need to be taken away. The form of transportation you'll have now is your legs. You'll walk everywhere. You'll also need to take away any form of privilege that you have. If you're male, the male privilege needs to go away. If you're part of an ethnic group that receives privilege, that will go away. If you have high social standing that gives you privilege, that will need to leave as well, because now you'll be on the bottom of society rather than anywhere else on the ladder. You'll also need to take away your access to health care. You won't have any health facilities nearby, and if you did, you couldn't afford them anyway, so that also goes away. And take away any form of savings or investment that you have, anything you've stored up for the future, that also goes away. So that includes your access to financial institutions, any retirement accounts you have, any credit cards, any your access to ATMs, checkbooks, all of those go away. And one more, you're going to need to empty your refrigerator, your pantry, your cabinets, any food you have. All of that goes away except for maybe one half full bag of rice, maybe a handful of beans. Now, we've done a lot of taking away from your picture, so most everything is gone. But now we have to add some things to it, because to live in ultra poverty means you have to gain some skills that you may not have right now. So, first of all, you would need to gain the skill of making a small amount of food go a long way. And you would also need to be able to gain the skill of going days at a time without any food. And with that, the ability to give your food to your children and not eat yourself when there's not enough for everyone. You'll have to, even with the limited food, you're going to have to develop the ability to work hard in the sun and earn 50 cents a day for your work, and then make that 50 cents go as far as possible. During the fallow seasons, you're going to need to learn the ability to beg, because during those times there's no work for you to do, and it'll be months before you can go to work again. So you'll have to learn who you can count on, who you can ask for food from, who might be able to give it to you, and who will refuse and maybe even hurt you for asking. With that, you'll have to gain the ability to stay safe, the ability to be able to be safe from people who are more powerful or more wealthy than you are. That usually means staying hidden, staying out of their way so they don't see you. If they don't see you, they cannot exploit you. Finally, you'll add a set of friends who live in the same conditions that you do. These are friends who will look out for you, and you'll look out for them. Since you're all in ultra poverty, you don't have much to share with each other, but what you do have, you will share if someone really needs it. So that's the picture. That's what ultra poverty would look like for you. So imagine yourself in that place right now. As you got up in the morning, what would be the first thing on your mind? As you go to bed at night, before going to sleep, what is the last thing you think about? Now, think about what it would take for you to move out of that survival mode, out of that mode where you're not even getting enough to give you adequate nutrition each day, and move into a place where you can provide for your own livelihood, and you know that you'll have enough for each day. You can even start planning ahead a bit. What would it take for you to move from where you are in ultra poverty to that place of a sustainable livelihood? What things would you need to add back to your picture in order for that to happen? What support would you need? What help would you need to move out of poverty and to be able to provide for yourself? And think about how much would it cost? How much would it cost for people to help you, for people to provide the things you need? And one more question, how long would it take? How long do you think it would take for you to move from survival mode and to learn the things you need to learn in order to provide a steady living for yourself and maybe earn a little bit of surplus so that you could save up for the future? Well, I want to tell you there's good news after all this challenging news about ultra poverty. The good news is that there are organizations in many different countries that are working to help people move out of ultra poverty. And on average, it costs them between $500 and $1,500 per family to move them out of ultra poverty. And in addition, it takes between 18 and 24 months for that to happen. In this website, you will read some of the stories about people who have moved out of ultra poverty. You'll read how the world's best nonprofit organization actually finds people living in ultra poverty and what it does to help them. And you'll also read about Galanor, who went from starving to thriving with an investment of $300 in helping her to move out of ultra poverty. I hope in staying connected to this website, souloffinance.com, you'll be able to see that we have the potential in our world for ending this form of poverty, so that every person who is living in these conditions now will be able to realize their potential, will be able to exercise their gifts and provide for themselves and provide a better future for their children. That is possible if we learn how to use finance and other tools to support people in this arduous journey out of ultra poverty. Thank you.